Hello, everybody, and welcome to Textbook Sports. This is episode 5, if you count the fantasy episode. I am super excited about this week. We've had quite a bit of news, a couple big trades. The one a lot of people are talking about, Brian Robinson Jr. going to San Francisco. That's a big one. That's a big
Way to
one.
bury the lead. Way to bury the lead.
Oh, yeah, I guess you could say that. There is another one. Someone is, they're heading up north. It's Adam Thielen heading back to Minnesota. That's Adam Thielen. He's going to be catching passes in the purple again. He's going to be super pumped.
But protected by the dome. Protected by the dome. That's
He
important.
will be protected by the dome. There is one other player, though, that was traded that I do believe everyone knows, Micah Parsons to Green Bay. I think me and you talked a little bit about this. What is your take on the package that Dallas received?
It's honestly impressive, the package they received. I think the public speculation, I know Micah Parsons is an extreme rare talent, but Kenny Clark, look at his body of work. He's nothing to scoff at. So anytime I think you get a trade with Kenny Clark, a premier interior defensive lineman, which has been a major struggle for the Cowboys. They've been trying to plug that hole for a long time. And 2 firsts on top of that. I think that gives Dallas a lot to work with, along with the announcement of, not the announcement, but we're starting to hear more about Micah Parsons' back injury, and it could be a little bit more severe than what was led to believe. So that might have led to Jerry Jones. I believe Jerry Jones is a little bit off his rocker, but that might have led to his decision not wanting to pay Micah. A back injury is nothing to scoff at, but I thought it was a really good haul for a superstar. What do you think about the trade?
So there's a couple layers to this. Micah Parsons is a fantastic player, superstar, still young, absolutely amazing. We had a conversation earlier this offseason coming from Cleveland of whether or not you pay Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett, he's going to be asking for all this money as a non-quarterback. Do you have the ability to win a championship with an edge rusher making that type of money? And truth be told, I don't think you can.
History says no.
History says no. So it makes sense from Dallas's standpoint to you bring in Kenny Clark, who he's not the youngest guy, but he's not old by any stretch of the imagination. He's a run stuffer when Dallas was the worst run defense in the league. And, you're in a division with Philadelphia, who is by far the best running team in the NFL.
Yeah.
So I believe that Dallas made the right call, especially being that Mike is making $47 million a year for the next 4 years. It just makes more sense to utilize the money you have elsewhere in a salary cap league. It just does.
I agree. Now, Deron Bland being the guy receiving the funds, I don't know about that. I don't know about that, but
I'm not saying they're spending their money appropriately.
I'm simply saying that.
I'm simply saying that
I'm with
the choice to not pay an edge rusher is not crazy.
I agree with you. I think the last premier edge rusher to lead a team to Super Bowl was Von Miller with the Broncos.
But I'm not sure if he was even top end paid at that time.
I don't know what his pay was, but when you talk about a premier edge, driving a defense, Von Miller was the last one. And when you look at the rest of the teams, defensive interior and defensive backs have been at the forefront of those defensive cores. So, for Super Bowl champions, at least. So I like the move, and especially with so many young DTs on that Cowboys roster. They have a chance to learn with Mozzie Smith, Perion Winfrey, to learn from an established vet that's been there, a Pro Bowler. I don't know if Kenny Clark has rings or not, but a guy that's been there.
if you do look at a lot of the Super Bowl winners of the recent memory, it's all interior defensive linemen. Philadelphia's
Philadelphia's
defense was
rotation.
Jalen Carter was just wreaking havoc in the middle. Kansas City always was relying on Chris Jones. Los Angeles was relying on Aaron Donald. Even Tampa Bay had Vita Vea, but yes, they were relying on the pressure of Shaq Barrett and whatnot. If you look at a lot of Super Bowl winners, the defenses are primarily anchored not by an edge rusher, but rather a defensive tackle that is either pushing the pressure up or stopping the defense from that nose tackle position.
100%. Yeah, that interior pressure has become vital for all defensive schemes. I know edge rusher is the new hot position. Just be able to use your athletic freaks on the defensive end. I know that's been a newly added hot position, but you at the end of the day, football is ground and pound. It's about low man wins, and in the trenches that defensive interior gets exposed pretty fast when you lack that size and strength at defensive tackle.
All right, so I'm wearing my my vacation shirt here. Because it feels like vacation. NFL's right around the corner. It feels like we're in vacation mode here.
I got my Belichick sweats on, so
Okay, so with week 1 coming up, what is your favorite matchup team to team? Like, what are some of the favorite games that you could look at and you're like, "Oh, that's gonna be a fun one to watch?"
yeah. I mean, we're starting off with game one, Thursday night matchup, Cowboys Eagles. I mean, in NFC East, this is a classic matchup. Cowboys have a lot to prove. No Micah, Kenny Clark. How quickly can they give him up speed? He's a vet. I think he can give up speed. But the Eagles on a mission to repeat. I know there was some turmoil last year. Does a ring wash that away, or does AJ Brown continue to butt heads with Jalen Hurts? What does that look like after a ring? With that
Yeah.
team camaraderie. So really looking forward to that matchup. I think, if I were to pick a winner right now, it'd definitely be the Eagles. Lions, Packers. I have high expectations for the
Oof.
Lions.
Yeah.
Once again, going back to that Dallas trade, Micah with the Packers. Heard he's going to get some injections and play. I'm intrigued to see what that Lions offense looks like without Ben Johnson. So Ravens, Bills. I mean, look at that AFC matchup. It's still what could be. These two guys, these quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, probably your fantasy favorites, but they cannot get over that hump to get that ring. So they're starting off season strong. I even look at Vikings Bears.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson's debut. Caleb Williams. We've heard some conflicting reports out of camp about him. How does he handle that Ben Johnson offense? How do the Bears in general handle Ben Johnson's attitude? We heard he's a no nonsense type of guy in camp. So there's not a lot of room for error in this offense, and this is a team that is going to have a lot of learning curves. So those are my key matchups that I'm looking forward to this weekend. How about you?
I prefer to look not necessarily at the teams, but I like to look at the players.
Mhm.
So for me, like there's a few players that I want to look at that, for the number one that I think every single person that watches NFL wants to see is Travis Hunter. How is he used on offense and defense at the NFL level? It's it hasn't been done in forever. I mean,
Yeah.
at the level of which that they are saying he's going to be used. I mean, yeah, you had people like Julian Edelman and I think it was Dion Branch or Troy Brown? I think it was
Mhm.
Troy Brown
Joe
that
Jaravicious.
well, like they stepped in for that New England.
Yeah.
Like for some reason, Bill Belichick was like, "Hey, yeah, get out there, you can do this." It was
Yeah.
fine, but I think everybody wants to see, like, can someone actually do this? Can someone actually be a shutdown corner and an elite wide receiver in the same game?
Yeah.
Um,
I'm intrigued. And from a fantasy perspective, certainly intrigued. You saw I drafted him. He's currently my wide receiver too, so I'm sweating a little bit
you
to see.
still don't get those stats for his tackles and whatnot.
As a league commissioner, you might be able to make some changes.
There's a few others that I want to talk about. I think that Aaron Rodgers going back up against the Jets. The whole entire Jets process was a train wreck for Aaron Rodgers' career. He's already talking about retiring and not wanting to come back after this. So does he want some revenge against these guys? Like he just sent him down the dark path of ayahuasca. Like
Yeah, I'm with you. Even bigger than that, the attitudes of Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf. Aaron Rodgers is a guy that does not like drops. DK Metcalf is a guy who has strong hands, but tends to drop wide open passes from time to
yeah.
time. I'm intrigued to see those attitudes work together.
Yeah, and then Jaden Daniels. So Jaden Daniels is going to go up against the New York Giants, and the New York Giants have on paper what could be the best pass rush in the NFL with Brian Burns on one side, Abdul Carter on the other, and you're subbing in Kayvon Thibodeau. What? Are you
Yeah.
kidding? That's the fastest edge rushers in the league all on one team.
I think Thibodeau has had some experience rushing from the interior in college.
Uh-huh.
Even though he's smaller, I think he's going to be a speed
Well,
rusher on the
you have
interior.
You have Dexter Lawrence in the middle.
Well, you still get 4 guys with a hand in the dirt. You put him next to Dexter Lawrence. Come on,
Truthfully, I mean, if it's me, I'm just letting Dexter Lawrence be the only one in the hand in the dirt, and you just let the other 3 roam around like they're fucking Myles Garrett playing basketball.
I mean, that's where the modern NFL
I mean, it's
is
going to
going.
be insane.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be
going.
insane.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. Along with that Giants quarterback room, all those guys look tremendous in the preseason.
Yeah.
They could be building some momentum finally.
And then you can get into the big trade of the week, the Micah Parsons, Kenny Clark move. Kenny Clark, he's going up against a Philadelphia interior that is beat up. You know, yes, Cam Jurgens is fine at center, but the right guard, I'm an Eagles fan. I don't even know who it is. It might be Tyler Steen, but who knows? The
Yeah.
left guard is Landon Dickerson, who is an all-pro offensive guard, but he's hurt.
Yeah.
If it's not his meniscus, it's his back. If it's not his back, it's his other knee. He's beat up. He just went through a whole entire Super Bowl run, came back, he got hurt in practice. His body hasn't recovered. And now he's got to go up against Kenny Clark. I'd be looking for Saquon to not necessarily have that big of a game because they're just not going to have the gaps for him to run through the way that they would normally have. And then on the other end, you have Gibbs and Parsons. Micah Parsons' first game with Green Bay, as you said, they're facing Detroit, and Parsons has the speed to chase down Jahmyr Gibbs, your boy,
my guy. That's my guy. Yeah, I mean, but he's got on the edge. He's one guy. You can you can sweep Gibbs out one way, or they still got. Don't forget, you got David Montgomery. I think with Micah having those back injuries, there's ways for Detroit to really take it to Micah and put some punishment on him.
Okay, so we've been through the team matchups. We went through some player matchups. How about some players we're hyped to see? Like, do you have a player that you are excited beyond all belief to see in whatever role he's in for this upcoming week?
There are several guys that come to mind. Obvious number 1 pick in Cam Ward, but if I'm really looking at and thinking about guys I'm excited to see, I'm excited to see Sam Darnold in Seattle. See if that him and Cooper Kupp can find a rhythm. So that's one I'm super excited about. Another one I'm excited about. We talked about this earlier. Travis Hunter. Can you get momentum on either end? George Pickens in Dallas actually is probably the most exciting player I'm looking forward to watching play. He comes into a situation where he's a bona fide number 2. He can just be himself. CeeDee Lamb can get out in space, do the fun thing. Do they have the ability to be the next Jamar Chase, T. Higgins in the NFL duo? I mean, on paper, 100% they have it, but now we got to see it in action. So those are some of the guys I'm most looking forward to see play.
So I'm excited to see a couple young quarterbacks who flashed at the end of last year, and that's Michael Penix Jr. and Bryce Young. Both highly touted first-round picks. Like Bryce Young was the first overall just couple years ago. Both players ended the year really well, and I think that both of them could potentially take that next step up. I'm super excited for Michael Penix Jr. I think Penix Jr. is going to blow the doors off. And the last guy that I'm like super hyped about is actually DeAndre Swift. He's in Chicago. He's in that Ben Johnson offense. And he kind of looks like a Jameer Gibbs type player. He's got the receiving, he's got the speed, even has a little bit, I would say, more power. I truly believe that, hey, I'm a DeAndre Swift fan. The man has been a top 25 fantasy running back in PPR scoring for almost every year of his career. He is amazing. And I am standing on this. I was extremely heartbroken when he was sniped from me in our fantasy draft. With that being said, I am super hyped to see how he is utilized in this Ben Johnson offense, and I believe that he could end up being top 15, top 10 running back in the NFL this year.
He definitely has all the tools. I like it, but I think there's been a lot of sample size out there, and there's a reason why they jumped up in Detroit to get Jameer Gibbs, and that's what it is in my book. But yeah, I don't mind Swift personally.
I think Ben Johnson was like, I can work with Swift. I'll go work in Chicago. I know Swift. I know what he can do.
I'm glad you brought it up, Ben Johnson. Colston Loveland. That's a guy I'm excited about in that offense. He finds a way to get his tight ends going. He was sniped for me in our fantasy draft. That's one guy I'm excited about. I mean, did you see his rookie sing and dance?
Yeah.
That boy got rhythm. There's been a black girl too in his lifetime because that boy he had them shoulders going. So once I saw that Michigan man ain't got the shoulders going, it might be a Pro Bowl year for Colston Loveland.
Oh boy. You and your fucking Michigan kids. All right. So let's make some predictions.
All right. So we're gonna start with game one. Easy. Cowboys, Eagles.
I mean, I'm going Philly. I have to.
I'm going Philly as well. Well, of course, game two. Here's me. Bengals, Browns.
Who you got?
I'm going Browns. Joe Flacco, baby.
You going Browns? Hey, honestly though, I don't mind the Browns. I'm gonna go Cincy, but I don't mind the pick. Kansas City, Los Angeles. I'm gonna go Kansas City just because Los Angeles got rid of a lot of their defensive players.
I'm gonna go Chargers. I think Jim Harbaugh running game might be able to limit the Chiefs offense.
All right, Tampa Bay, Atlanta. That is, I think, one of the hardest games of the week. I absolutely love the Penix London connection. I'm going Tampa Bay.
I'm going Tampa Bay. I don't think it'll be a close affair. I think Tampa Bay just has more in the tank. Here we go. Dolphins, Colts.
Dolphins. Colts just don't have it in them this year.
Dolphins as well. I think it's gonna be a rough year for the Dolphins, but it's gonna be an even rougher year for the Colts.
I think Miami can start off strong.
Cardinals, Saints.
Cardinals. That's another one it's not even close. That's gonna be a blowout.
Cardinals.
Yeah. Vegas versus Patriots.
I'm gonna go Vegas.
I'm going with New England because I have more faith in Drake May than I do Geno Smith because I've seen how bad Geno Smith can get.
Interesting. I'm gonna let that live.
Clip it.
Giants, Commanders.
I'm gonna go Giants. I think that the Giants defense, I think they're going to carry them, and I think that Jaden will have a hard time getting started.
I'm gonna go Commanders. I think the Giants still have a lot to figure out. Panthers, Jags.
I think I'm gonna go Panthers here because I still think that the Trevor Lawrence situation is just a train wreck.
I'm gonna go Jags. I put my faith in Brian Thomas Jr.
Okay. Pittsburgh versus Jets.
Pittsburgh. I love what Aaron Glenn's trying to build. You can't go against Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, I'm going to go Pittsburgh because I think that defense knows Fields a little too well.
49ers, Seahawks.
I'm gonna go 49ers because I need Darnold to show me he can do it without Kevin O'Connell.
I like that. I'm gonna go Seahawks. I think the 49ers are very banged up right now. This is a good time for the Seahawks to establish themselves.
How about Titans Broncos?
Broncos.
Ooh, going against your boy. I like Bo Nix. I like what he has shown, and the Denver defense is just incredible.
Lions, Packers.
I'm gonna go Detroit because I don't know who Jordan Love is throwing to outside of Matthew Golden. Romeo Dobbs is banged up. Jaden Reed's banged up. Christian Watson's out for a while. He's got an unknown commodity in Golden and Tucker Craft. I just
Yeah,
don't see it.
I'm going Lions as well. Strong running game. It got even stronger with the floodgates opening up right in the middle. So Gibbs gonna go crazy. I also just think that Lions connection with their offensive weapons is just better.
Texans Rams. I'm gonna go Houston. I love that Rams offense. What I don't love is how bad that defense is. I think CJ Stroud and Nico Collins can pick them apart.
I'm going
Yeah.
Houston as well. I think Matthew Stafford being so banged up is the absolute difference maker here. Here goes the big one. Ravens, Bills. I'm gonna go Bills for the sole fact I love Lamar, but that Ravens team always seems to let the game slip away in that week one tough matchup.
I'm gonna go Baltimore because I don't know if Buffalo's offensive line can keep Josh Allen upright.
Last matchup of them all, Vikings, Bears.
Yep, and JJ McCarthy's debut versus Ben Johnson's debut. I'm gonna go Chicago. I think that Ben Johnson's gonna come out firing, and I think that Chicago really has a chance here to make a big impact. And I think that JJ McCarthy, he's a young kid coming back from an injury that just he's gonna have some growing pains.
I'm gonna go Bears here. Um, but not for the same reasons. I actually have more faith in JJ McCarthy than I do in Caleb Williams personally. I just think the Bears have more weapons on the offensive end. Also, Justin Jefferson, questionable. We know he's going to play, but Justin Jefferson not 100%.
Okay, so I think that something fun that we can do is we can make some calls here, right?
Mhm.
We're gonna throw some darts at a dartboard, and we're gonna say who this week is going to have the most passing yards, the most rushing yards, and the most receiving yards. Who do you think is gonna throw for the most yards this week?
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, he was one of the guys on my list. So for me, you want to talk about just throwing and seeing what sticks. Joe Flacco.
See, I didn't want my Browns fan to show up too much, but I I'm right there with you.
Look, that Cincinnati defense is bad.
It's
They're
questionable,
so bad.
and Kevin Stefanski's going to take shots, and they sign Isaiah Bond, which is going to be their young gun with speed. Kevin Stefanski's going to take 3 shots deep. It could turn out very good for Joe Flacco.
All right, who do we think is going to lead the league in rushing this week?
James Conner.
James Conner.
James Conner.
Really?
I just think that Saints team is so bad. James Conner is going to carry a heavy load, and I think that matchup is in his favor.
I'm going to go Jonathan Taylor.
Okay.
I've voiced my love for the man in the past. Indianapolis is going to try to relieve some of that stress from Danny Dimes and just hand the ball off to Taylor 25 times. Okay, who is going to have the most receiving yards for this week?
I'm going to go Jamar Chase. I was inclined saying Jerry Judy, but I think if it's going to be a shootout, Jamar Chase is probably going to go crazy with yards.
So for receiving yards, I'm going to go Malik Neighbors. I mean, I think it's going to be out of pure volume. The man's going to have 15 catches. I think he's just going to be peppered with targets the entire game.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
All right. With that being said, our vacation starts Thursday. NFL starts, football is upon us. I'm excited. I know we all are. And our books are closed. Let the football season begin.
Welcome to Christmas.